Hey guys, it's Mike from America Wrestling here with the debut / pilot episode of That Indy Show. What is That Indy Show, you ask? It is a show where we discuss anything and everything in the world of independent wrestling. It will be me today. Greg wanted to do this, but since I'm doing it at 9:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, he is not here. So he will probably have to join me on a future episode where he watches a full independent show in full. Yes, I said that twice. But anyway, today I will be going over the full season of Wrestling Society X. What is Wrestling Society X, you ask? It is a short-lived half-hour program that was on MTV from 2006 to 2007, I believe. It went head-to-head. It was the second half of ECW on Tuesdays at 10:30. Now, I don't know if anybody who will be listening to this has seen WSX, but it is advertised as a underground sort of promotion in a warehouse of sorts, but it's called the WSX Bunker. The ring is given that gritty, like, backyard wrestling-ish, I want to say, type look. They have musical performances before the show goes on the air, and they have the musicians do the commentary with the actual commentators as the show's going on. Now then, I'm not going to go through every episode and every match that went on. I am just going to go through what I liked and what I didn't like, which is more of what I didn't like because this show was just bleh. I'm sure Ryan, aka Big Fish, will hate me for saying that because he likes garbage like ZCW, but that's besides the point. They had your usual indie talent. They had Scorpio Sky, they had Joey Ryan, they had the Age of the Fall, which was called DIFH, which I don't know what the hell that stands for, but it was Seth Rollins, aka Tyler Black, and Jimmy Jacobs, which they I can't talk today. They considerably destroyed the Jimmy Jacobs gimmick because they had him be this emo looking whatever who all he wanted to do was hit on chicks and play an acoustic guitar, while Tyler Black was the death metal part of the show team, and he just went into his death screams, which no. In Ring of Honor, it would have been Tyler Black would have been the weak link, and Jimmy Jacobs would have been the head guy. But, MTV, whoever the fuck was booking this, didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had the Human Tornado, which I'm sure some of you know. They had Matt Sydal, a.k.a. Evan Bourne, which I just want to point out, Matt Sydal's heel gimmick in WSX with Lizzie Valentine is a lot better than what he's doing right now, or what he was doing right now. WWE needs to give him the cocky, arrogant boyfriend gimmick that will get him over tenfold. They had Vampiro, which he won the first WSX championship. They had Ricky Banderas, aka Judas Messias, aka El Messias, who spoke perfect English. And he had the right side of his face burnt for some reason. They explained it in episode 6? Episode 5? I don't know. I don't pay attention to this shit. Teddy Hart, Jack Evans. I'm trying to figure out who else was on here. Los Pachos Guapos. Let me just explain something. They had Jesus from WWE, Carlito's Bodyguard, and a guy named Chaos. And they had them constantly fighting every episode. From the first episode they were on, they had them fighting. What is the point of bringing in a tag team if you're going to have them do nothing but argue and bicker back and forth for 10 minutes? That defeats the purpose. Now, granted, they lost all of their tag matches except one. All of them except one. And that was on episode 7. But every other episode, they lost. What's the point? I mean, you're building up this tag team, and you're going to have them job every week. They had a tag team go by the name of the Cartel, which reminds me of LAX, in which it was nothing but a bunch of ruthless, well, I'd say ruthless, like a gang mentality with El Jefe, which I'm guessing was supposed to be their version of Conan. I'm sure somebody will disagree with me with this, but, it's a pack of rabid dogs, so to speak, and they're Latino, so yeah. Team Dragon Gate, which is okay, and then they had them kidnapped by Sakata, which, if you don't remember who Sakata is, he was in WWE with the Yakuza-like stable with Akio and Tajiri. So, and I just want to say that that abduction gimmick was a lot better than the one with Samoa Joe, where he was kidnapped by ninjas and they didn't explain what the hell happened to Samoa Joe. All they said was, oh, here he is with a fucking Samoan machete and a penis on his face. That's what happened to Samoa Joe. Alright, now to what I liked about WSX. The matches. The matches were amazing for the amount of time that they were allowed to air on television. I'm sure they all went I'm sure they went longer than the 10 minutes that they were allowed on TV, because you barely saw what happened on TV, but they still had amazing matches. I liked Seidel's character. I didn't like Scorpio Sky's character too much, but we'll get into that later. I liked the Cartel. It was alright. I liked the little dancing feud that Jack Evans and Human Tornado had. That was cool. Vampiro, it worked. Ricky Banderas, it worked for the feud that they had. But Joey Ryan, I liked that gimmick, but it worked a lot better in PWG, where he would do nothing but be a pervert. But yeah, that's what I liked about WSX. Now, what I didn't like about WSX, the over-the-top pyrotechnics. You didn't need to see the camera shake like an earthquake just hit downtown Los Angeles every time the pyro went off. Especially in the opening. It looked like the building just exploded. No, that's bad. Why would you have that? I can understand if it's a Hollywood type feel in a underground wrestling type setting. It just sets everything off. An underground wrestling promotion should not be having pyro. It's just stupid. Especially when it's nothing but fire. The musicians doing commentary. I watched the episode with Good Charlotte, which was, I can't remember what episode this is, but they seemed like they had no idea what was going on. They were just there. Just to get a quick paycheck from MTV. Sure, they did a musical number afterward, before the show even started, but that nobody's seen. But still, they still acted like they had no idea what was going on in the matches. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, they made a comment where somebody took their headband off and they said, you're done when you take the headband off, and it was not even the end of the match yet. It was the middle of the match and nothing happened. He just took his headband off. They had Pitbull on there, and, these guys just show up and go, hey, yeah, that was cool. Oh, man, he's dead. This is awesome, yeah. No, they're lifeless. It's pointless. You could have been better off having Chris Kloss, or whatever his name is, and the other dude just doing the matches, because they did a lot better job calling the matches than having the musicians as a guest did. Newfound Glory was on the unaired episode, and they showed more interest in what was going on than any of the other guests that were on the program, I mean, it's just, just don't. It defeats the purpose. Secondly, I'm just going to comment on the ring announcer. This dude looked like he was on meth. The way he ran around the ring doing the introductions, why? I have no idea. He just acted like a complete fucking buffoon. I get it that he was trying to be hardcore, I guess, but it just didn't work. And my phone's ringing, if you can hear it in the background. I'm not fucking answering. It's a ha! Anyway, the phone's going over, brother. And but yeah, the ring announcer, episode 9, he went full heel and declared the match between Jack Evans and the Human Tornado a time limit draw. And the commentary team was even confused as to why he was considering the match a time limit draw. He was not the ref. He just instantly jumped into the ring and said, "I am declaring this match a time limit draw." I apologize if I'm going too fast. I'm trying to get this done, and there's not a lot to talk about within giving you a half-hour show. So, the death matches. No. Episode 10 had a Piranha death match. If you don't want to know what a Piranha death match is, there's a tank of Piranha at ringside, and you have to put your opponent in the tank, and you have to put something over the tank while you're in it, and the ref has to count to 3 to win the match. What moron in their right mind thought this was a good idea? For one, you have a tank of live fucking piranha. You heard me. Piranha. There were 6 or 7 of them in this tank. Why? What is the point? What purpose does this serve? It doesn't serve any purpose. It's a piranha deathmatch. Oi. The second thing I hated on episode 10 was the exploding cage deathmatch, or time bomb deathmatch, whatever the fuck you wanted to call this thing. It was an electrified cage. It was between Team Dragon Gate and the Filth and the Fury, which was Teddy Hart and M-Dog Matt Cross. What it was an exploding cage match. 2 sides of the cage, or electrified, or whatever the hell it was being promoted as. 2 sides of the cage were electrified with explosives or something. And there was a time bomb on the ceiling. And the only way to win was to hit the detonator on this time bomb and get out of the cage. It's the only way to win. Is TNA booking this? Is this Vince Russo? I mean, TNA booed the electrified cage match at Lockdown 2007. Why would they think this was a good idea? After Team Dragon Gate hit the button, they escaped and the ring exploded, quote unquote. No! Even for the worst main hardcore death companies like ZCW or FMW or XPW, that's overkill. And I know ZCW sucks, but we'll get into that into a different show because I have to review one of their pay-per-views that I watched, sadly, a couple weeks ago that I haven't done to yet. But yeah, it's just, meh. The only thing that I really liked that they followed up with was the Vampiro Ricky Banderas thing. It's the only feud that was given a mainstream feel to it because they looked into another promotion's history. And it's it. That is it. I know this was a seasonal, but it should have been just weekly. And it should have been given an hour. And they should have done away with the explosions. They should have done away with the shitty musicians that didn't give a damn if they were there or not. And they should have done away with the dumbass deathmatch stipulations. I got bored seeing somebody being thrown through an exploding barbed wire coffin after the 3rd episode. That's just the way it is. And it has a cult following somehow. And it just doesn't work. There was a hashtag during Impact on Thursday that said bring back WSX, which, no. Don't bring it back, because it's just it's doomed to fail. Whoever wrote episode 10 effectively killed the company, because that's the episode that did not air on MTV. I thought it was the episode where Banderas threw the fireball in Vampiro's face, but that was episode 6. And this is episode 10, the one that did not, and that episode aired, but it was ungodly edited out. Well, it was edited. It wasn't edited out. It was just edited to look blurry, and it looked bad. But yeah, if you guys want to watch WSX, the full season's on YouTube. I forget the channel name, and it's on a 420 channel, which is a wrestling streaming thing. Or part of our podcast, Big Fish aka Ryan, has it. You can go check out his thing. I'll link it in the YouTube description. But yeah. Anyway, this is it for the first ever That Indie Show working title. Next week, I hope to have the review from Dragon Gate USA Freedom Fight 2013 up. It happened last weekend, but I haven't had the time to really do anything with it. So, also we have our normal podcast, which is every Sunday during after a pay-per-view, or Mondays after Raw. This week is after Survivor Series. This will probably up before Survivor Series, so hopefully you guys will listen to our stuff before then. Catch us on YouTube. Well, you're on YouTube. Sorry. I'm sorry! Catch us on Twitter. Twitter.com/ArcofWrestling. Facebook.com/TheArcofWrestling. Twitch.tv/ArcofWrestling, which we never use. We hope to be using it soon. Instagram. Yes, we're on Instagram. What else? We should be on iTunes after the first of the year. Should be having some big wrestling guests here soon, hopefully, if they ever email me back. But check out Lag Spike and all that good stuff. But anyway, hopefully maybe Greg will be on this next episode. I have no idea yet. If he is, we'll let you know. It'll be on Twitter. So be sure to listen to this if you like WSX. If you don't, listen to it anyway so you can hear me rant and speak extremely fucking fast so I can get this done and on YouTube in a quick amount of time. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, buy the Long Gnome, and I'll see you guys next weekend. Peace!